Namaste and welcome. It's going to be Jesus in stereo for us today, as it always is. It's so beautiful how Jesus speaks to us each, and every one the way we need to hear him. Yet with that clarity and that power that comes through us as we speak and express as divine beings when that voice comes through. So it's thank you for coming to share your experiences and how they've been to talk with Jesus. So I'll just turn it over to the floor for anyone who would share. What is it like to speak with Jesus? Okay. Thank you, Mary.
So Jesus has been showing me that what I think is going on is not what's going on. And he was showing me this through a sudden flash of it's kind of hard to describe, but there was a sudden awareness of if you will, some of the major events, like in a flash of this lifetime. And I thought, well, this was going on, and this was going on, and this was going on. And he was telling me, kind of not in words, that really he was, that he was orchestrating all of that for a good that I could not perceive. I would be in breakdown, or, oh my gosh, look what's happening now, or whatever. And then something so he's telling me that I can let go and trust, that I don't have to plan it out and make my to-do list. I just need to gently be with him. And everything that I could hope for is taken care of. Yeah.
So what's it like to actually hear that voice, Mary? What's it like for you?
Very gentle, very soft, and no question, authoritative. It's like the buck stops here. This is it. And very clear. I journaled this morning with an upset, and it's just right there. So that's what it's like.
That's beautiful for sharing. Is there something that helps you hear him more, or
Joining. When we follow, and I have to laugh because I was like going to do a shortened version. So I'm like, okay, do I remember the steps, a couple of months ago? And it's like, no. Just calling in the light. And it's when two of us join, it's like, everything else just kind of disappears, and there's just hearing, there's just listening, and it's it's as if we're speaking in one voice. And I have the experience, like I do right now, of my heart. It feels like my heart is expanding. And I have the experience that we call for the light when we begin our sharing, our joining, that it's like this. It's deeply convicting, and it's deeply confidence building. And the more joining that takes place, the more natural it feels. Like this is the place. And I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Mary. It's so beautiful. This has value beyond words, doesn't it? Would anyone else like to share their experience speaking to Jesus? Oh, thank you, Dennis.
Well, it seems like each time I join, it gets more potent and more powerful. And this last joining this morning was it's like when I go into the light and I hear what he says, it's like his voice and my understanding and his understanding are one and the same. There's no difference. And of course, the ego has a tendency to want to identify with my voice as being the one. But it astounds me how clear the clarity is, so bright, and the depth, it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And you can tell when it's complete because it's done. There's no more, and there's kind of this fullness and happiness, and all the way through it is just this bright presence of clarity and confidence and power. Yeah, and it's reflecting itself in life, because when I meet with people now, it seems like that same is occurring, that same kind of presence, that same kind of clarity and happiness and joy is there with people. When I went to the hardware store today and talked to several people, and it was just there, and it was like I was with Jesus with these people, and I was so in joy and happiness. And it's, the clearing out is just with so many different areas that I've joined with. It's just the clearing out is building the confidence in me to recognize that the doubts, that's part of what I worked on, is the doubts have been flushed up, and they're going away really quickly. And it's the confidence that's being established in me is really strong. So it makes it much more easy to know that my connections with people are true and obvious and real. And it's also, there's not as much ego. It's just part of that's just joining pretty much every day, at least once a day, and it's keeping me clear and in that presence and that love and that happiness. So I'm just kind of blown away. That's what I am. Just blown away, and I love it. I just totally love it. Yeah. And the loving thoughts are starting to come in more frequently, and the freedom from the few grievances I've had, because there hasn't been many since I started this, but the few grievances that have been there have been deeply cleared out. Not just because the depth of it, it gets down to the bottom, to the actual desire for it, and the ability to truly forgive is really strong, and is really clear there. So much in the times in the past that the forgiveness does it in layers over time, and this seems to go right on through, right? Just cuts through it all. And even not only with myself, but also just hearing Jesus' voice in relationship to the person I'm joining with, so that I'm able to be really, really clear with what is going on there. So I'm hearing Jesus' voice really strong. It's right there. There's no other thoughts to distract me. It's just right there. So it's beautiful to have that clarity of mind so that there's not these wandering thoughts in the midst of it. And it's the purpose is really right there. The purpose of being guided and being in light. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Dennis. Wow, so beautiful to hear everyone's experience. It's like, oh, it's just so much in support to see that he's with us and he's fulfilling all his promises to us. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share their experiences talking to Jesus? Okay, Melissa, we'll start with you, and then Anne, we'd love to hear from you too.
¿Ahí está bien?
We can hear you.
Te podemos escuchar.
Ok. Ok. Le estaba compartiendo a Daira
I was sharing with Daira
que estos círculos de luz fueron una oración de mi corazón contestada por Jesús.
that this circle of that this joining in light, this light circles were a prayer answered through Jesus. It was a prayer of my heart.
Porque había una idea en mi mente de que no lo escuchaba.
Because there was an idea in my mind that I couldn't hear him.
Pero Jesús utilizó estos símbolos
So Jesus used the symbols
para ir profundizando y aclarando más esa voz.
so I can go deeper and have that voice be clear more and more.
Y ahora lo escucho tan claramente.
And now I can hear him so clear.
Y siempre que lo estoy siguiendo y escuchando, estoy en una alegría, en un amor, en una expansión.
And every time that I listen to him, it's just this happiness, this joy, this expansion.
Y estas uniones con mis hermanos es tan hermoso y tan expansivo y tan feliz y en un gozo. Es que no tengo palabras para explicarlo.
And in this joining with my brothers, there's just so much joy and expansion and just happiness that I have no words to describe it.
Y no solo en su voz, siempre utiliza los símbolos en una sonrisa, en un abrazo, en una canción. Él me está hablando y me está susurrando.
And it's just not, and it's also in symbols and between just a smile, a hug, or a song. He's always just singing in my ear. Just that sweet talk in my ear.
Me está hablando de la verdad.
Constantly just speaking of truth.
Sí. Y cuando puede surgir un deseo, él me está reinterpretando siempre. Escucho su voz muy suave, muy gentil, reinterpretándome en cada momento cuando surge un deseo.
And so every time that I look deep to the desires, I can just hear his reinterpretation. just as soon as I go deeper with him, there it is, just that reinterpretation. And it's such a great symbol to have that.
Estoy muy agradecida, una gratitud muy profunda.
And there's just this deep gratitude. So, so grateful for this.
There's Jesus speaking too. Oh my goodness, thank you. It's like the glow. Everyone has the Jesus glow. It's beautiful. It's really thank you, Melissa. I love you.
I love you.
More, right?
Amor, sí. Te amo,
Te amo.
te amo,
Te
te
amo.
amo.
Te amo. We're learning the love language in all languages. You just feel the holiness in this. Wow. In the gratitude. In the song of joy. We get to sing this together. Would anyone else like to share their experiences speaking with Jesus? It's just so much joy. Oh yeah, Anne, thank you for reminding me. Beautiful. Thank you.
I don't know why I reminded you, because I kind of feel like I want to hide at the moment. So, but yeah, at the same time, I don't want to hide, because I just really want to share the gratitude for being guided here to this, and I've shared it quite a few times now, and it's been wonderful, you know, that it seems to be somebody different that I join with, and the experience is exactly the same. You know, watching those resistances and going deeper and deeper, and it's like, it's so profound, and it's just such a, it's like, how come I haven't found this before? That sort of feeling. It's like, wow, how is this not, you know, been part of? So learning to know that I can hear Jesus, and I've listened to other people saying, oh, the confidence is growing, and I can feel that very, 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 you know, like little gradually feeling, yeah. So. Yeah, just feels so expansive to sit here and just say, wow, thank you. And it's ongoing, and I can see how deep this can go, and yeah, I'm just excited really to affirm this. So thank you, everybody.
Wow, Anne, thank you, because you're reminding us, like, to be inspired, because we're filled with spirit to keep looking. You get so inspired with each other. You want to jump those joins. Jump a join. I didn't mean to mute you too soon. If you had something else to say, we're listening. You could. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else feel? Oh, Jessica, how wonderful. Okay, here we go on mute.
Okay. Yeah, I feel happy to share. I was thinking, like, I really don't have anything to share because I'm not feeling well lately, and I haven't been joining lately, and those sorts of things. But then I realized, like, I do still really, I feel so grateful that this circle of light, that it showed up the moment I left community, So I literally couldn't feel any loss, because this is really just a virtual community. And I just don't feel there's much difference between like Living Miracles community and this. I feel equally supported, and it was a lifeline for me, literally, these 2-day meetings that first month when I left Living Miracles. So that was very powerful for me, and like there's so much gratitude for that. And and then there's just been a lot of gratitude for the way that wow, yeah, just the way that Jesus has been orchestrating everything pretty much, and helping me look at deeper family issues and things. I actually can't even talk about it right now, but there's just some profound orchestration happening for me, where everything is being taken care of in ways that I couldn't begin to take. I can't even describe it. But yeah, just so much love coming in, and I actually can't talk about it right now. But it's so weird, because I don't know what's going on, because I actually feel terrible. But then as I'm speaking, I feel emotional. So I don't know what's going on. But basically, I'm witnessing Jesus orchestrating things in such a way that I feel very loved and held and taken care of, and very much so. And I think that's it. Yeah. So thank you. And I'm just so grateful for everybody here. So thank you so much. I love you.
Love
Te amo. Te amo.
Damn. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Anyone else would like to share their experience talking to the one who knows, or talking as the one who knows, as our function? Is that Irene? Are you feeling to share? Yeah.
Julia too.
Oh yeah, Julie will share too. Okay. Irene, are you a place so you can share? Or you want me to go to Julia first? Julia, is she saying Julia? I'll go to Julia. Okay. Okay, Julia.
Yes, thank you. I'm just filled with so much love to hearing all of you express this love and this way that we all can hear Jesus. And I would say that what he's showing me in these days is like the willingness and the willingness, you know, even with the desire to not trust, the willingness, there is so much love giving in this in return, that he will show me in a way that would amaze me and surprise me, like when his voice is spoken, like when he's showing me also the truth, uh, the truth of it all. And I don't know if I can say in the midst of it, because it feels like that. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And this willingness, I just see also this, it's like tenfoldedly he will give back to me, like maybe just one line or one sentence, but that will be so clear that that the only thing you can do is know that this is from him, or this is from our truth, because yeah. And then at the same time, this honesty of God that is becoming so profound. I found that, you know, desires are like flushing up to surface, like desires that I didn't even know of will arise, but with innocence or something, like it's not fearful to bring them up. And it's not that it feels like that all the time, but I can just see the willingness also in the joining with the chapter 20, and I saw also the resistance coming up in the joining, and I just see that just the willingness to join, he will give so much back. So that will just encourage me to go there again and again, because it's like then everything is given in not the way I imagined, but yeah. So I'm very grateful. And also I feel in each joining, I felt in the beginning, I just feel that it is becoming, how you say, more and more lighter, or to recognize the truth in the midst of whatever is happening is becoming more and more present. So I'm very, very grateful for all of you. For all of you. It's a deep calling in the heart that is answered. And so I love you all, and I thank you all for us being here.
So, thank you, Julia. It's been so much joy. We're really, that inspiration in each other and lifting each other up is just so profound. And it's coming to mind to ask you, because this is a common question asked by beings, that how do you know you're hearing Jesus?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You know, there's doubt has been like my everything. In every thought there was doubt, no matter in which direction almost it came. There's no doubt. And this is where I say I am amazed myself. I know this voice is from us within, but it feels like it can only be the truth, because I'm amazed by these profound things that we are hearing or saying and hearing in our brother. And if again the willingness to hear, to allow the message in from my brother, if the willingness is there, either I will see the resistance, or I will allow the miracle in, and it's accepted in the heart, because there's no doubt in this moment. In this moment, there's no doubt.
That's so beautiful for all of us, that everyone can see and speak and hear his voice as clearly as Helen. That's his promise to us, that we can hear him, that he speaks. It's so beautiful to see the reflections and his promise fulfilled to all of us, to have no doubt that you're speaking to Jesus. And that's just like, wow. Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So Irene, would you still like to share your experience? Really? Oh, you sure? We'd love to hear you speak on just how it sounds to talk with him. You said some great things about it. Or you can't right now? Okay.
want to start and run out, but I might have, Jesus keeps arranging time for me to be able to get on here, which is, in itself is a miracle. Everything I have heard today just reaffirms exactly what I have. It's like Mary spoke and I was like, yes. And then, Jessica and then Julie and Anne, it's like, yes, 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 because I'm feeling the same things. And what I'm really starting to recognize is when it's not Jesus's voice. And that's like, wow, that just kind of hones it into what it is. And that has been, I think, the biggest recognition for me that, that's not it. And also the doubt and the feeling of panic and need to be here or to join or not to join or to try to control it all is just really kind of lifted. And just really trusting that when I can join, who I join with, what the opportunity will be presented, and I don't have to go scrambling and struggling and striving. That it's all being orchestrated, and the fact that I'm not afraid, while that's happening. So because there's like so many things changing all simultaneously, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, normally I would be like trying to control all these areas individually and freaking myself out, and it's not happening. So Jesus speaks a lot of times in song, and in song too, but symbols everywhere, I mean, just, a picture here or somebody will walk in, like these pastors keep walking into my son's room and we pray, and my kids and my family, everybody's saying, okay, let's say a prayer. And then they're going, okay, you pray. And then I asked my husband to join in light with me for a minute when I couldn't join. And first he said no, and then he said, okay. And then I said, well, what did you hear? And he goes, I just kept hearing it as echo. I kept hearing it echo saying, it's just a call for love. And I'm like, oh my God, like he doesn't study this, but he can hear it like you told me. And that day he did that, I was like, wow. So it's just coming through everywhere. And I'm realizing when I look for it, when I pay attention and I stay focused on it, and I do the light check. Is the light here? Where's the light? Like, where am I? It's like it comes immediately. It's like I'm realizing I'm the only one that turns away or doesn't pay attention to it. That there's no guilt, like where have you been or why did you turn away? It's just instantaneously there when I ask for it. And that's just it's like this is becoming more my reality than the other. And it's all I want is more of it, all I want is more of it. So, and Jesus wakes me up in the morning, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever, and I just lay there and get to do some clearing of desires with him before getting up and doing this. And it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not even eating on a regular schedule anymore, just whenever food is available, and noticing I'm not starving. So it's just yeah, I'm like everybody said, it's like, and one other thing, I kind of look back at some old videos of light circles where I had been or where you were, and I'm realizing I didn't even understand that at the time, and realizing the clarity now. So I mean that it's clarity, the clarity and the connection is undeniable. So yeah, that's it. And there was a thing going on here at 2:00, which is our time, and I was like, oh, I won't be able to join. It got canceled. So it's like, okay, thank you, Jesus. I get to listen. So thank you so much. Love you all.
Thank you, Jesus, for
Love you all. Love
orchestrating that.
hearing everybody, what everybody said. Progress. So
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Everybody's like oozing joy. It's quite, you feel bathed in joy with Jesus is all over the place, bathed in joy together. Thank you. So glad you got to jump with us. Like to speak of God with such enthusiasm, you know? How beautiful is that? Talking to that voice. It's everything. Would you, Kelly, or would you like to speak? Because Kelly, you speak to them all day long. It'd be interesting to hear your.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the same as what they're speaking.
Yeah, I think it's great. Why don't you come share for a minute? You know, it feels really good. Have you share your, you know, how Jesus, just how it sounds, because people wonder, you know, what does it sound like to talk with Jesus and what's it like? And, you know, there's an idea that it's difficult.
Only when I make it that way. Yeah, I tend to have a lot of resistance. And now I'm right in it. So it's like everywhere you turn, there's someone here to join, or there's just no getting out of it when you're here. I mean, that's what I came here for. But then when you start doing it, it's like, what the hell am I doing here? Not really. I haven't really thought that. But I mean, I have, but not to where I would not want to be here. I know that Jesus gave me this assignment to be here, but I'm not really sure how to express this. All right, Jesus, you told me if I get up here, you're going to tell me. Yeah, he speaks to me a lot of ways. Sometimes it's just a feeling, and it's not words. And sometimes he's just straight up talking to me, and it's humorous. Like yesterday, everything that was shared on the light circles and everything, and then I got in the hot tub here, and it was everything that had been going on all day that he'd been telling me. And then I got on the light circle, and everything you shared, Janet said in the hospital about having time to be here. He was saying, this is your sanctuary. You can always, it's what's most important. Everything drops if you need to join. That's what you're here for. Everything that he was telling me all day long was said later. And I mean, specific things. It was, he's just trying to show me that I can hear him, and I'm starting to see that I can hear him. I just don't always want to hear what he's going to tell me, because I think it's going to be something that I don't want to do, or that I, giving my whole life over to him. I'm like, what? No, I don't know about all that. There's a lot of things I still think I want to play with, and it's just, sometimes it's very confronting. And with all the physical things, like today, it started last night. I thought I wouldn't get some little thing, which nothing is little. There's no hierarchy, that I felt was a need that I needed to have met. And all night I was thinking about it. This morning, before we went shopping, I didn't want to tell you. I was afraid you were going to say no, or Jesus was going to say no. And when I said something to you when we were shopping, you're like, yeah, go get it. You don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. I know you, well, maybe you do. Maybe Jesus told you, but it's just funny because he was telling me all night, like, I know what needs you still believe in, and what he's like, chill out. And he's always telling me to chill out. And sometimes I do, but it's just the ego or whatever has this idea that it's going to be this really not fun thing, to follow him. And he just tells me, gently, that I'll have more fun with him than I've ever had, or that I ever could even imagine having, and more joy. So yeah, I just, there's times when I'm just straight up in it. I hear him perfect. I know I do. I mean, there's times like when we're practicing the yes, no about a flower, should I water it, or who should be put together in joinings, or things like that, that I'm still, still feels very abstract. But when it's when we're just talking and I let go and just let him talk to me, yeah, it's just, he has such a sense of humor, and it's my sense of humor, of course. And, you know, some he'll say, you can share that. And some, yeah, no, you don't need to share that sense of humor that we have to, you know, he tells me like what, if I'm listening. And then when I get really fearful, then I know, you know, I'm afraid to share. Like I didn't want to come up here and share right now. That I feel like sometimes I block what he might be trying to say because the fear blocks it. So I'm just practicing. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but when he's talking to me, and a lot of times it's been in the hot tub, but it's all over. I talk to him all day. I mean, I talk to him so much that when I can't even remember how to share what he said to me, because he says so much. It's like we're talking all the freaking time, you know. It's almost, and I forget that. I really think that's not happening, but it is. It's happening all the time. It's like he's always talking to me. You know, even when I'm like, shut up, I said, no, I'm not doing that quiet. And he's still talking to me. I'm still listening. Like, even when I'm just so mad and I just want to stomp the out of here, like, I'm leaving now. Like, I'm already ahead of what I think's going to be said, and I'm already got to know. And it's just so ridiculous how the play works, because I've already think what's going to be said, and it's going to be a no, and I'm going to be mad, and I've already acted the whole thing out, and I'm leaving, and I'm getting my own apartment. I'm going to stay in the play. I'm not following Jesus. And just all this stuff comes up. And so I can just see, you know, whenever I let go, and there's joining all day here, you know, so it's like whenever I just let go. And even when I'm stubborn, yesterday we had a joining that we're taping, Renee and I, for chapter 20, and you watch it, you're gonna laugh. You know, the first part of it, I was like not having it, and I was just being quiet. I was gonna fake the whole thing and get out. All right, yep, you hear it? Yep, I hear it. Are we clear? Yep, clear. You know, and that's how I did the first couple, and then and I just finally broke down and said, look, I'm not feeling this. I feel like it's contrived, and it's on camera, and I, you know, and really those were just things coming up. And when she read the third denial, it was perfect, of course, and I felt it, and it was exactly, and then that was it. It was on. I was talking to Jesus.
What was the desire? Do you
Oh
remember the
gosh,
dialogue?
what was it? The third one?
It's, you believe what you cannot see with your physical eyes.
You believe what you cannot see with your physical eyes
Does
does
not
not exist. And it was like, that was it. He took me right out of it. Boom. Because the first two weren't, I just wasn't, yeah. I had something that was going on, and I wasn't sharing it. So when the third one, he knew. The third one came up, and that was it. I was talking to Jesus, and it was just, and you know, it was beautiful. So I can see, like, I'm sitting up here right now. I was in total resistance, falling asleep back there. And it's like, he's just go up there and just let me talk. Yeah, there's just a lot of doubts. And he like you were saying today, he was saying through you today, doubt the doubt. You know, he said that when I was sitting back there. He's like, just doubt the doubt thoughts. They're not true. And keep practicing every little, as to the best of your ability, you know, you let go of the resistance and just keep practicing what you're hearing me say through whomever saying it. Yeah, because I'll have resistance to my brother. Well, I don't like what he just told, you know, and most of the time it's not what you're telling me or my brother's telling me, what he's telling me through my brother, but I focus on the brother so I can, you know, say, well, they're this, that, I'm not listening, and just get mad. But really I'm getting mad at Jesus because he's trying to help me to see something. And yeah, I'm starting to see my little tricks, the play, the ego's little tricks. Yeah.
Glad you shared. That was juicy, huh?
I'm still thinking, what the hell am I doing up here?
But you followed Jesus to come.
I did. I mean, like right here sitting. Yeah, I followed Jesus here. I was, yeah, all that stuff that was going on before I came here, and just the whole play of the whole lifetime, really. But yeah, I thought it was not good. And I remember when you shared with me, and he said it was a holy whatever that I was doing in my car. I don't remember how you worded it, but there's a lot of time that I definitely didn't see anything was holy going on there, but that's just proves that we don't know what's going on. We don't know divine expression. We don't know anything. So yeah, just remember that I don't really know what's going on. Because I have a lot of judgments that any judgment that I have is not it. Yeah. Just remember that. And if it's his judgment, it's not going to be making me sad. You know, it's only going to be making me happy. That's the only judgment he could ever have. So.
We're so glad you listened to Jesus and talked to him all day. It's so inspiring. He talks to him all day long. That's our only function.
Thank you.
I love you,
I love
I'm
you
so
too.
glad you came up. Okay. Renee, are you going to come speak a little Jesus with us?
Okay. Yeah, here it's been very intense with a lot of energy. And then asking that question a lot, more and more and more. Is this holding or release? And just keeping it really simple. There was a lot of resistance, and then he told me just to ask simple questions like that have yes or no answers. Because I had a lot of mind wandering. So, and then I like this, the play is to just take it all very seriously. So he's just showing me how lighthearted and simple and direct and beautiful and powerful and he's just washing away all the fear. Thank you. Holy angels. Holy angels. This dedication, you just feel surrounded by the wings of God, you know? So wonderful. Dara, would you like to share your experience speaking to Jesus? That's exactly. Then it must be true. Oh, there you go.
I can escape them, huh? Speaking to Jesus. I was here sitting and just that kept running in my mind, like, what it's like to speak to Jesus. And the only word that came to mind is like, God is, and then you cease to speak. It's just that unconditional love that just loves you. Anything that you need help with, he's there. Just loving you. Anything that comes, he's there. Actually, through all the symbols, it's like Kelly expressed that he just affirms that you're listening to him through your brother. It's like you're listening to the same conversation and then you join with your brother. And it's the same thing. So it's just that love. It's that unconditional love that's there for you. my experience. I can come to him for anything, any little doubt, and it's always answered. Immediately, it's answered. Through a sign, through a YouTube video, through Kay, through my brothers. It's like he's everywhere. That's always his message. It's like, I'm always with you. I'm everywhere. So that is my experience. Yeah. It's just the love. That's what it's about. Yeah. See, goddess, and then we cease to speak.
So beautiful. Thank you. Christy or Sue, would you like to share? It's just open. It's an open forum to just share experience of talking to him. Well, thank you, Sue.
Yeah, thank you, Kay. There's a voice that says, oh, you've got nothing else to add, and wants to sort of compare myself to others and think that others have a different experience or a better experience. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And yeah, just to say a little bit, I was realizing it's over 30 years ago that I really began to have some intimate inner relationship with Jesus. And I used to joke about it, saying, oh, Jesus is the only man that I ever trust. He's the only man I feel safe with. And it was still like with a separate being, but it was really helpful for so many years. And then that seemed to fade. And more recently, and with this, I don't want to call it a practice, but it feels that there's more of a dialogue now, and it's connecting with Jesus as the Christ. And it's like I don't know if everybody's seen the original Mary Poppins, when they jump into the drawings on the street floor. They actually jump in. It's like I jump in, and then I'm living out an experience with him. And we do things together, or I see him, and sometimes it's like I see myself as an adult, sometimes as a child. It's as you know, Kay, because we've had some time together, it's really more of an experience with images, as if I'm watching what's going on as well as how I'm feeling. And I'm very grateful for mighty companions in this group, because I'm living with so many fears and doubts. So I have to say, at this time, quite often during the day, I'm not really connected with him. So I'm so grateful when I can join with others, and then the experience of being with him is really strong. Or if the other voice comes in and I think I can't hear Jesus, it's so great to say to the mighty companion, what are you here? I've got, I've got lost somewhere. What are you here? And other people have already said, sometimes a mighty companion will say things, or like when UK was speaking yesterday about ownership and of a house, and I'm facing all these things to do with my so-called house. And I'm just so grateful when I hear his voice through others. And sometimes it's so specific. It's like, wow, I can't believe you just said that. That's just what I needed to hear. So it does seem like sometimes a very direct, lived experience with him, somehow inside my mind. And I think I shared with you, even like for the first, maybe the second time, it was like I was just really in him. I was absolutely in him. And it feels very intimate. And but I think it's also like reflecting maybe how I am in relationships. Yeah, sometimes it's really close and intimate, and other times it's like so distant and I'm cutting myself off. And sometimes it feels quite shocking in a way, some of the desires that have arisen, that have become very evident. And the one thing that, of course, that is so consistent is that he is never judging me. I'm so busy judging myself for having desires, but he never does. And sometimes he's silent, and sometimes there's like an inner smile, and other times he's just really loving, and sometimes he says things that really surprise me in a way that he's not spoken before, or maybe I've just not been willing to hear it. So yeah, it feels just like that, like getting together with an ex or something, but this relationship is like completely different this time. And it feels like there's so much more deepening to happen with him and through him. And I have no idea what that's going to look like. So I'm very grateful that there's such an emphasis on having a dialogue with him and asking him, and just really noticing when it seems very clearly that it's his voice and when it's clearly that it's not. And also just to allow myself permission to say, I can't hear anything. And then to trust the mighty companion that I'm with. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful, Sue. Thank you. You just see the beauty of the divine expression through our brothers, really. Very touching. Chrissy, would you like to speak a little bit about your Jesus talks?
I actually haven't used my voice much the last few days, but I actually felt like throughout this hour that we've been joined together, like my throat, which has been really hurting the last few days, it just like was hurting less and less, and it actually feels really good right now. And so yeah, it feels like a healing. So thank you, everyone. I feel like everyone was a part of that. And I think, all that Jesus has been telling me, and I think it's all that it ever is that he could be telling me, is that he loves me and that he's here no matter what I think is going on, and whether I'm trying to interpret it as what's going on is good or what's going on is bad. He's always there and he's always just loving me. And that also shows up in my brothers too. When I join, it's just, we're just telling each other that it's just love. Yeah. That's what I've felt here today from everyone. So thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. So here we have Jesus in multi-stereo. We always have Jesus to call in this batch of mighty companions so devoted to truth and to inspire each other to keep looking with Jesus and each other at clearing those denials to deny in its acceptance of the honesty of God. And we thank you for coming and being the symbols here with us, that his promises are fulfilled to us, every single one. No place else to go but up. Thank you, Jesus' happy hologram. And so much love in this.